All right, traders, here we go. Watch this video for Monday, October 30th. SPY, all-time highs again. Super, super strong market. Before I go into the watch list, I want to share a couple things. A reminder, this Thursday, right at the closing bell, we're having our happy hour number 3. And we're actually going to play Day Trading Jeopardy, but that's for the fun part of it. We're also still completely open to taking questions, any questions about our trading methods. We're looking forward to that. I like to talk stocks, and we thought we'd throw in this Jeopardy game to make it a little bit more fun. But it's not just going to be the game. Heck, by the closing bell, I'll probably already be buzzed. You see the whiskey here? That's me. Wayne will be drinking wine. But we actually do. We actually have drinks and talk stocks, and it's fun. So we'd love to have you if you're interested in trading at all. I think it'll be fun. So show up, play Jeopardy with us, ask questions about anything you've heard in any of my videos or anything like that. How do you register? Let me bring up this is a small version of my website, greatstockpicks.com. You just scroll down to the part here where it says why should you learn from us. See this video here? There's writing under that and right here. Just click on that, join us on November 2nd for happy hour. You click there and that'll get you signed up for the happy hour. And you can also check out trading blogs and click through the site. A lot of good stuff in there. All right, so let's go into the watch list and really hope to see a whole bunch of you in happy hour. We're also going to do more webinars like we've always done, more educational. We're talking about doing a trading inflection points part 3. So look for that. We'll certainly let you know when that's going to be. But this happy hour is going to be a little bit more lighthearted, I think. All right, so anyway, SPY sitting at all-time highs. The watch list I have going into Monday. I still want to watch Celgene. It had an inside day. I still think this one might just push back up through 100 one of these days and start to fill this gap. So I still have it on long watch. No trades in it on Friday. TTNP had that big spike intraday on Thursday and kind of a quiet inside day on Friday. But I'm interested in this one. I think it still might have a chance to turn back up, so we're going to watch that one. DryShips, again, you can't tell anything from the daily chart on this. We always have to go down to intraday. Very strong move here, though, from DryShips, from basically a little bit over $3 to over $5.60. These are 60-minute candles I'm showing you. So over the course of about a week. And it's really coiled here. I expect this to resolve one way or the other. It might resolve to the downside. I kind of like it up through 5 as a long, looking for another push higher. I can pan out a little bit to show you. So remember, DryShips had all that crazy stuff, and then you had the gap up here. Absolutely worth watching. I mean, it's kind of a big old cup and handle that broke out, and now it's flagging again. So it's definitely interesting to me, and I'll be watching it. Whoops. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so that's DryShips HTGM. Like this setup, you had this kind of, you kind of had a cup and handle here. Sorry, from here to here, you kind of had a cup and handle, and then the breakout, and we're flagging again. A little bit of extra volume on Friday. This one still looks good if it can break up through this flag. I like this one. It's pretty clean. OPNT, big spike on Thursday, quiet inside day on Friday, looking for a third day play there, maybe a red to green. We'll see. Remember, every trade I take, I start with the daily chart, but the trades are based on intraday action. And so I may or may not trade any of these, and they'll have to meet one of the 6 or so A-plus setups that we teach in the course, all right, in our trading course. So I can't give you a number on any of these, like, oh, I like it if it gets to this price, because we'll have to see how they trade on an intraday basis, all right? I'm in cash every night, and if you've seen my equity curve that I show in a lot of my videos, that equity curve is the result of only trading intraday, all right, and back to cash every night. So somebody PM'd me or tweeted like a DM on Twitter or something the other day that something like, more power to you, but I could never stand the stress of trading every day. And I look at that and I think I can never stand the stress of holding stocks overnight, wondering if they're going to gap down the next day. For me, I'm real happy with what I've done, with what I do, I should say, right? Trading on an intraday basis, and that's where my equity curve comes from. There's no guesswork, right? There's no, man, I hope this thing opens higher in the morning, and there's no, oh, this sucks being underwater, should I average down? None of that ever comes into play with what I do and what I teach, all right? So keep that in mind. To me, it's much less stressful But it's funny. Different people are wired different ways, I guess. CMLS had this huge move on an intraday basis and closed kind of in the middle of its range on Thursday and then sold off a bit on Friday. So I'm not in love with this, but this one might be a third day play, so I think it's worth watching. American Airlines, AAL. Over the course of 2 sessions, this has fallen from a high of 53.19 down to a low of 47.33. That's a pretty good sell-off in 2 days, and you have the 200-day right here. What I'd like to see on Monday is maybe an open and push down through the 200-day, and I'd be looking for an intraday reversal down here for a trade. This isn't my favorite setup, but anytime you get a pretty good 2-day sell-off into something like the 200-day, you can look for a bounce, and with a proper intraday setup, you might get a nice trade there. I'm not in love with this one either. PETS gapped up on earnings, 5 sessions ago? And it's been selling off ever since, but it is into some nice support now, right? I mean, I'll give you the numbers here. This was a high of 46.94 after earnings, and now it's down at 34.92, and a ton of support in this area. So, I always look for catalysts, right? So if this thing starts to move up on Monday, where's a catalyst on the chart? And I really don't see one, right? I mean, everyone who went long the last several days is underwater. So I don't look at this as a powerful setup. It's more like an oversold bounce play at support. I don't look for a huge move, even if it gives me one of the intraday setups I look for. But at the same time, it's not a terrible setup looking for a 1-day bounce, if that makes any sense. QURE. To me, this is a little more powerful when you had this huge move, and now you're down, 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row, into it seems to have found support at 15. You're in that buy zone we talk about between the 8 and 20-day moving average. So this one is certainly set up well after a strong move and then a lower volume pullback for a nice bounce on Monday. Again, it may never happen and it may never give me a setup. MNOV, this one's a little weird because it's a thinner stock, but this big volume spike on Friday barely broke 1 million shares, so keep that in mind. And if I pan out, the chart's fairly interesting. There's not a lot in the way if this gets going. Again, I can't give you a price that I love it, but you did have a high, and now you've got a lower high after the news. And it closed fairly strong. Let's switch to 15-minute candles here. So you kind of can picture a trend line. I'm not going to draw it, but so you've got some catalysts here. If it can get going on Monday, then it might take out this lower high of 734, which I view as a catalyst if it takes it out. And then you look to the left, and then you've got over 748, another catalyst, and maybe a revisit of these highs. So I like these, what I call stacked catalysts, on the 15-minute chart here. So it's worth watching. Just note in your brain that it's a little bit of a thinner stock. BONT. This one's weird because it's got these wide candles and it's got tails, topping tails, a little bit of a bottoming tail here. So it's a little weird, but I can show you like on Friday, I called this long at 95 cents right here, and we got a quick move within a few minutes to $1.18. I think I made $1,400 in 3 minutes or something like that, and was watching it the rest of the day for another possible trade and ended up kind of rolling over at the end. But this one has had a lot of news lately, and let's go back to 15s here. It's a better look. Again, you kind of have a high and a lower high and then a lower high here. So maybe over 110 on Monday. That might then knock out this one and then retest this one. So I kind of like this one. It's been giving nice moves. And again, it made my day. I got my daily goal in the opening few minutes on it. So I have and I had a nice trade in it the other day as well, so I think it is absolutely worth watching. GCAP, let's see, daily chart here. Yeah, so nice volume spike and a nice, pretty strong close on Friday. So maybe a red to green in this one. That is a pretty nice move on Friday, so we'll watch that one. And lastly, I've got TYHT. I have troubles typing that symbol for some reason. This is the entire trading history of this stock. Really, the biggest volume on the stock in its entire history was on Friday. So that makes it interesting. And a red to green might get this one going. Keep in mind this huge volume spike was 2.5 million shares. So you can see that this is a pretty thin stock. But give you the numbers here. This did go from 286 all the way to 438 on an intraday basis. So that's a nice move. And one of the characteristics that I look for when I'm looking for a stock to trade on the following day is recent big percentage moves. Okay, so I almost never trade anything that hasn't in the past week or two given a recent big percentage move, because that increases the odds that you can get a decent percentage trade on it, when you're watching it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. We will. I hope to see y'all at happy hour. That's this Thursday, right at the closing bell, which means I got to start drinking at 3:30 if I'm going to be buzzed for happy hour. So who knows? Anyway, it's going to be fun, and we'll add some gappers on Monday morning to the list as well. And trading's been pretty good lately, so if you're trading at all, it's not a bad time to show up. Once earnings season gets here, and I talked about this a little bit the other day, trading does change a little bit, so you definitely have to adapt your trading, and we're here to help you with that as well. Have any questions about that, bring them to happy hour. Have a great rest of your weekend. See everybody on Monday.